A job interview is a lot like a date. Okay, hear me out. You want to make a great first impression. There's a mix of euphoria, anxiety, and 1,000 what-ifs. You meet a stranger, and it works best when there's a natural, mutual conversation going. And then you wait 3 days for them to call. Sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. If not, you go on to the next one. Sounds simple, right? But there's one key difference between the two. While you don't have to prepare for a date, you definitely should prepare for your job interview. In this guide, you'll find all the information you need to nail it. How to get a job interview. There are several ways to land a job interview. Create a resume that stands out. You should take some time to create a well-designed resume. The easy way out is to use our resume builder. Then pick the right format, write it the way you'd like to read it, and tailor it for specific positions. By the way, we have a super useful how-to video on resume writing. You'll find the link in the description. Over 30% of new hires come from employee referrals according to Silk Road's Source of Hire 2017 study. It's no secret that recruiters prioritize referrals over classic CVs and standard applications. Firstly, you need to determine which companies you'd like to join. Then, you need to identify possible connections within them. If you know anyone who works at the company you'd like to apply to, ask them if they can put in a good word for you. If you don't know anyone personally, you can try networking with people who work for that organization via LinkedIn. Apply directly. Simply research the companies you want to work for and reach out to them. Ideally, seek out contact information of a recruiter or hiring manager and send them an email or message on LinkedIn in form of an open letter. Let them know that you're interested in collaboration and present your skills and experience in a way that will make it difficult for them to overlook your request. No replies yet? Time to get a little proactive. If you've shared your resume directly with a recruiter or manager, you can follow up via email after 4 to 5 business days. It shows that you're really interested in the position and the company. Remember to be always polite and respectful, never pushy. If you've submitted several job applications, remember to track your progress and results. It will make planning and tracking follow-ups much easier. Create a blog or website where you can publish some writings demonstrating your ideas, or simply use LinkedIn to present yourself as a subject matter expert. You never know when someone notices you, and you can receive cool job offers from hiring managers even if you aren't actively searching for a job. I got a few of them every week, and so can you. How do you prepare for your interview? Congrats, you got invited to a job interview. But now what? Do some research. If you come prepared, you feel much more confident. These are 7 things that you should definitely know about before your job interview. Know more about the company than others. At the very least, you should familiarize yourself with the company's history, structure, and direct competitors. But that's only the absolute minimum. In the end, you want to understand the company and show that your personality matches their company culture. If the company is developing a certain product, try to use it, express your interest in it, and explain what sets it apart from the competition. If the company is active on social media, research their sites, read a couple of their most recent blog posts, and find out what other people are saying about it. It's always good to know a bit more than others. Find some fun facts or company stories. This will also help you during the Q&A session. There are several useful websites for this, namely Quora, Glassdoor, and LinkedIn. Thoroughly research the competencies and duties of the person working at the position you're applying for. Fit your skills and knowledge to the job and tailor your answers so that you appear perfectly suited for the job. By doing the research, you'll also discover whether you are the right person for the job. You should know about the majority of tasks required for the role. Know thyself and thy resume. Go over your resume once again while keeping in mind that hiring managers don't know you, they only have your resume to work with. Your resume has given them a vague idea about you. Now you have to live up to their expectations. In order to sound more convincing, you should create a professional identity and stick to it. In other words, get ready to talk about your work history and skills that are highly relevant for the position you're targeting. Prepare specific examples to demonstrate your skills. Prepare answers to most common questions. Sure, every interview is unique. You cannot predict what exactly is going to happen or what they're going to ask you, but there are several questions that appear in most job interviews. You can prepare for those. You can check out our Instagram or TikTok where we often talk about common interview questions and how to answer them. The link is in the description. Get ready to ask questions too. By the end of every interview, you'll almost certainly hear, "Do you have any questions for us?" This is in fact one of every interview's decisive moments. Why? You can show that you care about the job and are curious about it. Your questions are another determining factor of whether you're the right candidate for the job or not. Recruiters are able to deduce a lot about you from the questions you ask. The hiring manager's answer can help you decide whether this is the job you really want. Of course, you cannot anticipate how the interview will go, and it's possible that new questions will come to your mind during the interview. But having a couple of job interview questions ready beforehand can save you in case nothing springs to mind. These are 5 of the best questions to ask the hiring manager. What do you enjoy most about working here? Do you offer any additional professional training or continuing education? Can you tell me something about the team I'll be a part of if I'm hired? What would be the greatest challenge for me if I'm hired for this position? Do you think I lack any skill needed for this position? Practice your body language. Try to look as calm as possible. The body language of a calm person is entirely different from that of a nervous one. There are plenty of online resources dealing with body language that can help. For starters, check out this awesome video and one of our articles. We will leave the links in the description. Know the terminology. You should be prepared to use the jargon of the industry you want to work in. Using the right terminology will make you look more competent and intelligent. Be specific and speak clearly. It doesn't make a good impression when you twaddle about nothing just to say something. Don't use helper phrases such as like, you know, I mean, too often. The day of your interview, how do you nail it? You did your homework, you're fully prepared, and your day has come. Dress for success. The hiring manager will usually inform you of the company's dress code when they invite you to an interview. If they haven't, feel free to reach out to them and ask. Alternatively, you can dress based on the company sector. For formal corporate interviews, it's usually business professional attire. For less formal corporate interviews, it's business casual attire. If you're interviewing at a startup, you can opt for a more casual fit. Mainly remember the rule of thumb, it's better to go into your interview slightly overdressed than underdressed. Also, make sure your clothes are clean, ironed, not too short or revealing. A first impression really matters, especially when it comes to job interviews. If you're late, you may as well remove yourself from the list of potential candidates. Rather than doing this, plan your schedule a little bit in advance. Know how to get to your interview, how long it takes to get there, and be aware of the parking situation. If you're going by public transport, give yourself some extra time for transport delays or traffic jams. Also, give yourself some time to find a restroom to freshen up. Don't arrive late, but not too early either. A good rule of thumb is to arrive 15 minutes before your interview. Bring copies of your resume. It isn't always expected, and yes, the interviewers have already read your resume, but it's good to remind them of your credentials with a copy in front of them throughout the conversation. Moreover, in the odd chance that you're asked for it, or if the interviewer had problems with their printer, it makes you look prepared for anything. Suddenly, you're the guy who took time to print his resume out, while the other 3 applicants are asking if they can borrow a pen. See the difference? The first 5 minutes of your interview are all about shaking hands firmly, smiling confidently, and looking as if you're super glad to be there. The rules are pretty simple. Don't smell like cigarette smoke, turn off your cell phone, don't chew gum, just have a positive attitude and smile. Sit still with good posture. Don't cross your arms, nod and make positive gestures. Make eye contact and have an approachable expression. Also, listen carefully to the interviewers' names, know how to pronounce them correctly and address them appropriately. If you're interviewed by more than one person at the same time, briefly address each person with your gaze. Return your attention to the person who asked you the question. It also helps if you ask for business cards and line them up in front of you in order of where they're sitting. Last but not least, end the interview on a positive note and let them know you're truly interested in the opportunity. After your interview, what's next? Just because your interview ended, it doesn't mean that your efforts should too. If they haven't informed you about the next steps, feel free to ask about them. Also, on the same day of your interview, send a thank you email to the interviewer. Here are the most common mistakes that candidates make in job interviews according to hiring managers. Unless you're perfect, you've probably made at least one of those mistakes before. The good news is that you know better now, and I think you're 100% ready to nail your next job interview. If this video helped, hit that like button and subscribe button. Good luck and see you next time.